What's up, everyone? I'm Carter. This is the 2A Enthusiast channel, and today I wanted to talk about hearing protection. I've never really done a whole bunch of research into hearing protection or, um, you know, looked for videos at all on hearing protection, but I really thought it'd be kind of just fun to do that just because I've had my share of trying different types of hearing protection. And so it kind of sucks buying something and then realizing that it sucks, or that it doesn't necessarily do what you want it to do. There's a ton of different types of hearing protection out there on the market, so it's kind of hard to decide what's going to work for you, depending on maybe what type of activity you're doing, shooting, whatever it may be. Um, but I thought I would kind of give you my thoughts on what I've tried and what I like and what I don't like. So to kick this off, I kind of just want to start off with the basic stuff. So it's going to be kind of more of an in-ear kind of a bud. I don't I don't like those foamy ones, the basic, dollar foamy that go, you sometimes roll them, squish them, and then you stick them in your ear. I do not like those type of, um, I guess, hearing protection or in-ear protection. For me, I kind of have smaller ears, and then also I feel like they just don't work. Um, I understand like they're not going to do as well as like what a over the ear muff is going to do, but I feel like they just kind of once I stick them in my ear, they almost like expand, but then they kind of pop out of my ear almost a little bit to where like they don't really do anything, and maybe I don't know how to put them in correctly, but they don't work well for me. So kind of as a substitution, I'll show you the first one, the one that I've probably used the most as far as in-ear protection goes, and it's these guys. They're very, I guess, not necessarily similar design, but they're an in-ear, super inexpensive in-ear bud. So they're kind of like a rubber, kind of a, I guess, a design, and they have these like ridges on here, which I really like because I feel like when you stick them in your ear, it almost kind of like grabs your ear a little bit, so it doesn't really come out very easily. So like if you were running with these, they don't really pop out like a foam would. So that's one nice thing, and then the other nice thing is they do have that like cord, so you can wrap them around your neck, pull them out, and just leave them dangling there. So that's another thing I really like about these. But they're also super comfortable, and again, they're super inexpensive. I've gone through a whole bunch of these. A lot of times I'll put them like I'll have them in all different sorts of like range bags, pistol bags, all sorts of different like gun cases and stuff like that. So when I head to the range, generally like I'll at least have these no matter what. Even if I forget like earmuffs or something like that, I have these laying around. Or like if I'm going shooting with other people, these are really easy to whip out and hand to them. Especially with people that don't shoot very often, they can just put it around their neck and they're not going to take them out, set them down, forget about them, and then when we're getting ready to shoot, they're like, oh, I don't have my hearing protection. So these are great. I love these. So the next set of in earbuds that I really enjoy that I would recommend to anyone are these little guys. They're made by Howard Light, and I really really love these things. I found them a few years ago at a gun store I was working at. We had boxes and boxes of them, and they come in a box very similar to like what you'd see from um, those little squishy ones that come in a box. And we sold them for like $1 a piece, I think, or something like that. And you can buy them online, like Amazon, all sorts of different stores. You can buy them in like I think packs like 5 or 6 of them, and even bigger than that. But they're really nice. They're very nice because they have this little like plastic thingy that sticks out square, so it's easy to grab onto. But you kind of squish it like you would like a normal in earbud, and then you stick it in your ear, and then you just hold it in there, let it expand and do its thing. And I don't know if I think I like these a little bit more because they're made out of more like a thicker, like rubbery texture, rather than like the foam, and so they actually like expand well, and they actually like stay in your ear. So these are really nice too. I used to have these in like all sorts of different bags. I slowly started running out of them, giving them to people to use while we were at the range. I've ran out of them a little bit, but I really really like these for the money. Like I would totally buy these ones over the foam ones, and I'll do my best to kind of get links to these guys, all the hearing protection that you see here, on the description down below, so that you can go buy them if you're looking for something like these. Um, but yeah, that's the in ear stuff that I like, that I recommend. That's kind of inexpensive, and if you lose it or whatever, it breaks. Who cares, right? You can replace it. Going forward, I guess we can stay with in ear stuff. Would be like digital in ears. I feel like there's not a lot of um, in ear digital stuff on the market that's good, or that you could really play with unless you're going to spend a whole bunch of money. So the first ones that I ever started out with were the Walker Silencer Bluetooth in earbuds. I think these are like one of the first like generation ones that they came out with, and some of like the first stuff on the market too. I got these like 6 or 7 years ago. Like I've had these for ever. And I really actually like these. I think they work really well. They're Bluetooth, so they do connect to your phone. You can play music through them. You can take calls through them, and then this is a charging station that they actually come in, and it kind of like magnets to it, kind of like if you were to drop like an AirPod into its charging case, it kind of is like a magnetic kind of a thing. But yeah, this is a charging station. It's got a little charging port on the side. It has a little space for this like I don't know, a little brush cleaning thing. I don't know that you necessarily use that. I don't think I've used it much. But yeah, these are really nice. They actually fit my ears really well, surprisingly. It comes with different buds, different size buds. So depending on your size of ear, you can change that out. And then it has a volume up, volume down button on here. And then it has like a kind of like a mode, I think is what they call it, or like a power button basically. Um, and I think they work really well for the money. The only downside I would say of them, and I'm not going to go in too deep into each one of these as far as specs and all that go. But like I said, these do Bluetooth to your phone, and the app that Walker has for these sucks. I don't think that they've put a lot of money into the app design. So like for me, when it connects to my phone, every once in a while, I would kind of like lose connection. Even so, if I'm shooting with these in my ears and I have my phone in my pocket, or like I have it in like a dump bag or something like that, it my phone just loses connection to it. And I've noticed it does it a lot more like in the heat. And so I don't know if it's like a heat kind of thing or what it is, but they lose connection. Um, and so like if you were like calling someone or listening to music or whatever, you're probably gonna lose connection to your phone, um, which isn't terrible. Like after a while, I think it's like stops trying to connect to the phone, and so it'd be just fine. But for the first little while where it loses connection, it will kind of like beep at you, telling you that it's lost connection. So that's the one thing that sucks about these. But overall, for the money, I would say they're pretty good. Um, they don't really hurt my ears or anything for wearing them at extended periods of time. And nowadays with like how the market's been, with progression of more and more things coming out, I would say the price on these isn't bad for what you get. So that's another one. These are the Walker silencer Bluetooths. And then the next one are these Axils. I believe these are the Axil Pro, one of their newer models. I actually luckily didn't have to buy these. The company I worked for, were like a farm and ranch outdoor store kind of thing, and these were sent into the company, to the sporting goods team to try out basically, from the local rep. So I didn't have to pay for these. I didn't ask for them. They just landed on my desk one day, and I was like, "Oh, sick! Like I'll try them out." I've always kind of looked at these. They are very similar. Like if you were to compare them to like regular in-ear headphones, very similar to, they look, at least they look very similar to like Beats or AirPods or something like that. In no way are they as good as those though. Um, so with the Axles, they're kind of magnetic like AirPods or these walkers, and then they do come with multiple different tips. So these tips are your shooting style tips that are really going to muff the sound, and then they also come with like your standard tip that you'd see on like an AirPod or any kind of more of a music style in your bud. So depending on what you're using it for, if you're using it for shooting or if you're using it for like more like music, you could decide which one you're gonna use. But if you're using it for loud noises, shooting stuff like that, you don't want to use these ones. Um, so they kind of gear it towards like multiple types of people. Whether you're like using for like working out, listening to music, stuff like that, or shooting, you can kind of customize it to your fit, which is kind of nice. But also, I will say that kind of sucks because it's kind of like a jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing. Um, they don't do great in the shooting department, I would say. Whereas the walkers, they 100% customize these, I would say, for shooting. These ones, they have some flaws to them, I would say. I haven't used them much really because the times I've used them, I didn't like them. So in total, I've probably used these like 10 hours of shooting, which isn't a lot at all. I mean, the walkers I've probably got 100 hours on these at least. These guys, I have not used them. One thing I don't like about them is when I'm wearing them, which they fit in your ears really good. They um, don't hurt my ears at all for long periods of time. But the one thing I really don't like about them is I get like an annoying, almost kind of like small buzzing noise in my ears. It's kind of like it's more of a humming, I guess. It's kind of like if you plug in an amp, uh, like a stereo amp, and you sometimes you get like a little bit of a buzzing noise because um, it hasn't connected, like it's the wires kind of got a short in it, or you haven't started playing anything yet. Um, that's what I would describe it as. If you're familiar with that, um, it's not like something you could get like not get past, I guess, but it's not something that I enjoy listening to when I'm out trying to shoot and concentrate. The buzzing is just really annoying. Um, so that's one thing I really, really don't like about these. The other thing I don't like is turning them on and off. It's really kind of annoying to shut them off, I guess. And so sometimes like I'll notice like I'll I thought I shut them off. I put them in here and they're still on. So that's one really annoying thing. And maybe just I need more practice with them on shutting them off. But like if they don't shut off as easy as all the other in ear headphones and uh, Bluetooth shooting headphones and stuff like that I've tried, then they're not worth it. The other thing that sucks is they're expensive compared to like walkers. I can get the same thing. Um, Honestly, I would say the walkers are just as nice, if not nicer, and they're just as much money for walkers. They work better. So I don't like the axles. I personally wouldn't recommend them, which I'm actually kind of excited that I have these and I'm able to share that because you don't see them in stores. You see them online and they have that stupid, like, hey, buy one, get one, but you're not really buying one, getting one. You're paying the same price. It's just a markup scheme, basically. So I really don't like the axles and would not recommend them. Doesn't matter which model axles they are, although I've only tried these ones. The other ones I would probably say are terrible too. Um, I watched so I wore these 2 times out shooting, 2 different times, and didn't like them at all. So I was like, okay, I'll watch some YouTube videos, see what other people have to say about them, and see if maybe they can give me like some feedback on like how to make them work better for me. And everyone seemed like they were just kind of talking them up like they're so awesome, they're the best thing in the world, and they don't really have problems with them. And yeah, I was like, well, I don't agree with you at all. Like I think they suck. I mean, if you want to try them out, go give them a buy, but I honestly probably won't use these. I'll probably put the music buds on them and start using them for music because I don't really care for them. The battery life is good on them though. That's probably the one thing that's good. That and they don't hurt ears, but controls suck. That little buzzing noise sucks. So that's the Axils. That is what I have for in earbuds. And moving on, we've got over ear muffs, which I think is probably the most common type of hearing protection that people use today, just because it does the job. It works super well. It's the best way to probably minimize the amount of sound that you're getting to your ears. Or even a lot of people will like double up and they'll use muffs and buds. But anyways, um, to start out, I've just got some basic muffs here. These are nothing fancy at all. These are made by Champion, and they're very very basic. They just are big and huge and clunky, and I actually got these as like a gift at work. They were, I think they one of our reps was kind of just giving away some stuff, and they handed me these, and I was like, "Yep, sure, I'll take them. They'll be handy for when I go out shooting with other people when they were." Because literally, like that weekend, I was taking some family members out, and it was nice to have another pair of headphones for someone else to use. They are not the greatest design, I would say, but for their time when they came out, they worked really well. I would say the one thing about these, so these are going to be, um, a passive muff. The one thing that sucks about these, I would say, is when you're wearing them, I feel like everything it does its job. It muffs out every noise, which sucks because if I'm sitting next to someone else, I feel like I'm talking louder when I'm wearing these, um, because I don't feel like I can hear them. It's like when someone else has um, you know, their ears ringing because of a loud noise, and so they're screaming at someone like, "What? I can't hear you," kind of thing. I feel like that's the same thing with these guys. Is it does the job? It muffs out sound really well, but it muffs out every single piece of sound that hits these. But overall, they do really well. They're super inexpensive. You can find them at a ton of different stores. Walmart, even sells these, so you can get them really inexpensive. You can really save your hearing with these guys. But if you want something that's a little bit, I don't know, I guess nicer, we're gonna jump to the walkers. These are going to be digital walkers. So these are the razors, which nothing fancy to these. These are kind of more of your basic razors, and these were really more of my start when it came to hearing protection. So when I first got into shooting, I was working at I was working for the same company I'm working for now, just in a different role, and we were able to actually go to a big shooting event. And at that shooting event, they provide every single person with Walker earmuffs. This was years ago, and so it was really nice because I had never used digital muffs before. I had used like on and off. I had used your plain muffs, but the nice thing with these is because they're digital, it helps amplify noises that are safe to your ears, basically. So they come with this little dial. You spin it up. I guess first of all, it runs off some AAA batteries, but with that, you just run the dial up, and then when they're on your ears, if someone is talking to you, I mean, they could be 15, 20 yards away from you, and if someone is talking to you, it's like they're talking from me to you know 2 feet away. Like, it's super nice to have something like that where, number one, you're not shouting, so you're saving your voice, and also it in a way makes it safer too, especially when you're out shooting. Someone can hear you, like for example, if you're out at the range and someone yells a ceasefire, well, it's much easier to pick up that noise over gunfire than it is to pick up that noise over something that's completely muffing out everything. Um, and so I really like the digital stuff. I would say they're worth the money. These guys, they're 35, $45 for something like this. These are the basic ones, like I said. So the only downside I would say of these and you probably can't really see it, but the muff is kind of more of a darker, thicker, kind of a um, rubbery plastic, I guess. So over a long period of time of shooting, these kind of, at least for me, they tend to kind of hurt my head or my ears. They don't feel great on them. You start to really feel that pressure. And then I guess the only other downside, it's not necessarily downside, like it's gonna happen with everything. Everything wears out. But these little like wires, I've noticed compared to like higher end headphones, these guys over time they don't compress as well. And so like that like that. So that's how it's supposed to be, but sometimes they don't compress super well. I do have an old pair. I don't know why I still have them. I just kind of keep them around just in case I'm going out shooting with a whole bunch of people and I need another set of muffs because they still work. But I have another pair that they don't like compress at all. Like this guy kind of just sticks out all the time. It will not compress because of how old they are and how much they've been used. So if you're looking to get a new pair of headphones, but you're not wanting to spend a whole bunch of money, or you're wanting to get a pair for when you're going out with other people, and you want them to be somewhat nice so that they have a good experience, I would say something cheap like these walkers. They work really well. Another great alternative to the walkers that's still inexpensive, that are actually probably my favorite, the ones that I use the most now, are these guys. So these are made by Savior Equipment, and it's basically similar design. They've got that wire thing on the sides. They're digital. They run off AAA batteries. They look a little bit bulkier, I would say, and they kind of feel a little bit bulkier, or maybe a little bit heavier, I guess. But the nice thing about these, the benefit of them, because they do work 100% the exact same as the walkers, they come with gel pads, which are super comfortable. So these guys, I actually got these ones for free as well. I was given these at work by our rep. But the gel pads are super comfortable. Um, I can wear these, like I've had range trips where I'm out shooting for 5 or 6 hours, and generally these stay on my head all day, and I don't really notice them necessarily. They don't hurt my ears. They don't hurt my head. I still can hear just as well as any other pair of digital muffs. They just feel really good, and then um, their padding feels really good too. It just feels nice. And then they do come with these little patches on the side. You can pull them off, and it's Velcro under there, so you can stick other stuff on it. But anyways, like the um, gel style, I guess muffs are probably the ones that I would always recommend over like just your standard pair of muffs. And everyone makes them. I mean, Walker makes some gel styles, but I think I don't really know because I haven't really looked into them because I have these ones. But Walker gel, the softer gel style, I believe costs more than what the Saviors do. So I would just go with a pair of Saviors. Savior Equipment does some awesome stuff too. They make some awesome stuff. I've got a few of their different bags that so I would highly recommend these. If you do happen to have like a cheap pair of walkers and you want to swap out the pads on them to something to those the squishier gel pads, you can buy those gel pads. Lots of different companies make them and sell them separately. So Walkers, I believe, sells them separately. Um, and then you can buy them on Amazon. I think Walker sells them on Amazon too. But there's other companies that sell them on Amazon that you can buy them for, and I think they're basically universal. The ones that I bought, because I did buy a pair of those and swap them out on another pair of headphones I have, and it's kind of tedious to swap them out, but basically you just pop out the pad right here on the side, and then you snap in the other pads, and then honestly, like it completely changes the game, I would say, when you go to those gel pads. So I guess kind of overview. Um, all these types of hearing protection that I have shared with you today, I think are great options for hearing protection. I would say the biggest thing or my biggest takeaway from all the stuff that I've tried is number one, I don't like the Axils. That's me. Maybe you'll like them. I don't like them at all. I don't think they'd be worth the money, and I'm so glad I didn't ever buy them and try them out. I'm glad that they were given to me for free because I don't use them. Number two, I personally don't like the foamy in earbuds that you get for like $1. If you're gonna spend $1, get these guys because they'll sit better in your ears. They'll stay in your ears. They come with that rope, so it'll stay around your neck. Or go with these other guys that I suggested. There's better options than those foamy pieces of crap that don't work. So there's more expensive headphones out there. If you're a guy that your job involves you shooting every single day, I would probably go spend the money and get something way nicer. There's headphones out there that are $300 and $400 headphones that do some amazing stuff. And so if you're that type of person that needs something like that, or you shoot that much, or you do an activity that involves you needing hearing protection, um, you know, every single day, I would spend the money and go get something a little bit nicer. But overall, I guess the stuff that I use the most, and honestly, like I shoot suppressed 90% of the time when I'm out shooting, unless I'm shooting a handgun. I don't shoot handguns suppressed as much, but most of the time when I'm out shooting and I'm shooting suppressed, I don't really wear hearing protection much. But that's not necessarily something that I would recommend. Just wear some hearing protection because it's good on your ears. You only get 2 of them. But the ones that I use the most are going to be the Walker silencer, Bluetooth, my Savior equipment, muffs, and then probably these guys. Again, I probably use these ones probably the most actually out of all of these, out of anything that I've shown you today. The reason why, again, is because I have these in like every single range bag, every single gun case. I bought a whole bunch of these and stuck them in everything because they're super easy to grab, especially when I'm too lazy to grab my headphones. They're literally sitting right next to me. I'll just grab these and throw them in my ears because even though I'm shooting suppressed, I'm just gonna throw these in. So that's what I've got for you guys today. Again, it's nothing fancy, but let me know down in the comments if there's a different type of hearing protection that you guys use that maybe I could go try out. I'm always interested to try different stuff, especially when it comes to hearing protection. I'm always interested in like different types of Bluetooth earbuds. That was again another reason why I wanted to try out the Axils, and I'm glad I've had a chance to. And so like let me know if there's another set of hearing protection that maybe I haven't heard of before, or something that uh, you have found works good for you. So thank you guys. Leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you think.